Hey y'all, I'm back. I told y'all I had another one for you. So we're gonna get into it. I ain't gonna even waste no time. So, if you watch the other video, you know that this is all one dream, but there were two different messages for two different parts of the dream. So that previous part of the dream I spoke about. So before this, it started out with me and some family members in the house. There was something going on outside, and of course we're in the window on the side of the house in the living room, looking out like, oh snaps, what's going on out here, you know. And so there's this man who is like visibly injured in some way, but he's kind of laying in the street. And I remember looking out, and one family member said, "Oh my gosh, that man is dead." And the other family member, they're in shock, like, what? Like, oh my gosh, is this really? It's a dead man laying here. Like, what do we do? Like, panicked. But then, for me, I'm looking at the same man that they're claiming to be dead, and I visibly see that he is indeed not dead. I'm watching him move around, and I'm wondering, like, what are they talking about? This man is moving. Do they not see? Like, how can you say that this man is dead and we're watching him? Like, he's getting up, he's wincing, he's in pain, of course. And I'm like, I don't say anything out loud, but in my head, I'm like, I'm confused. Why are we saying that this man is dead? So, of course, like I said, I don't say anything. I'm just like, okay. Then, wow. Then, the man gets up. Of course, he's injured. He's wincing in pain. But he gets up and proceeds to drag himself along and continue to walk. At that point, the family members that are there with me are like dumbfounded, like just completely stunned, okay? Like, wait, hold on, what is happening? I'm so confused. You know, that was their thinking. And so he's walking up the street, and he's steady going. He's limping and everything. He is like visibly injured, but he's not dead as what it appeared to others. Some of y'all are already catching that in the spirit, so I'm gonna continue. So then, like, the home sits on the corner, so comes up that road, and so he's coming up in front of the house in the street. And so that's when we transitioned from the side in the living room to out on the front porch to see. And he's steady going. Me, I'm like, yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Keep it pushing, keep going. Family members still just stunned and in awe. And they were like, well then, okay, guess we don't need to do anything. He's not dead. And that's when we proceed to head back into the house, and they transition into the second part from the previous video. Anyway, a lot of y'all are probably already catching what I'm about to dish out. Holy Spirit help me. I sat with it for a little bit, because at first it confused me, not gonna lie. I'm like, I knew the second half of the dream, I knew I needed to remember that, but something kept saying, remember this dead man, and I was like, but why? It ain't making sense, So I'm like, alright. So I woke up, of course, and I made note of everything, and I was like, the Lord will make it make sense to me in due time. And I was like mid-conversation with somebody, and it clicked. Like, we weren't even talking necessarily about that because I hadn't shared it. Just conversation, for whatever reason, it just, in that moment, it made sense. So, help me, Holy Spirit, how to word this. There are certain promises and things that you are believing God for. And a lot of people like to automatically attach things to, especially in this season, to Kingdom Spouse. Yes, it could be that, but it could be an array of things. Business, ideas, sudden moves that God's telling you to make that's not making sense to other people, but He spoke directly to you, and you know you're hearing Him. And it has you beginning to doubt if you're hearing God right. This dream was to show that to others, especially I think it was a big highlight that the Lord used some family members of mine to portray this. It'll be people closest to you, the family members that don't believe in what God has promised you and spoke to you. They don't believe in the business. They don't believe in the idea. They don't believe in the sudden change in careers or the sudden move, or God told you to be with that person. Like, they don't see it. Of course, it happens. But that's because it's not for them to see. It was a reason why I was the only one that could look at that man and see that he was visibly not dead. It was very clear to me that that man was not dead. But it was not to them. God had to that man getting up was God showing them that, hey, I'm a man of my word. It don't matter if you don't believe it because it wasn't spoken to you. That's what he's letting you know about these people that don't believe in you, enemies and people in your ear. He's about to make a believer out of them. What they think is dead and non-exist, not gonna happen, that you visibly see life in, honey, He's about to make a believer out of them. Trust and believe that. Okay, y'all. Believe what God told you. He told you for a specific reason, because it's for you and not for anybody else. It's for you and for God's glory and nobody else's. Nobody else has to believe in it. I had to learn this myself in many different areas. It may not look like what they think it should look like, but that does not matter, because it looks like what God intended it to look like. So whatever promises it is that God has spoken to you that may seem lifeless to everybody else, but you see the hope. You even if it's just a little bit. A lot of people in this season are struggling to hold on to it, and I get it. I've been there. I have moments where I'm back in that place, to where all I got is a mustard seed of faith. I'm telling you, hold on to it. That little bit is that little mustard seed is that little bit of life that you see in the promise that other people cannot. It's not for them to see, baby. It's for you. You know, you believe in what God told you. I asked for confirmation to release this. And I saw a post, I think on like Instagram or something, and it's like, stop letting other people determine your discernment. You know what God said, stand on it. And I was like, well, there it go, because that's exactly what he gave me through this. Baby, it's not for everybody else to see. It's not. This walk is not for them. Your personal walk and what God has you doing is strictly for you and God. Let people not believe. Let people talk. Let people do whatever. They don't have to support. They can watch from the sidelines. Because God's still going to get his glory anyhow. And he's going to do it through you. And then they're going to have no choice but to bow down and believe. I'm telling y'all. This is meant to be encouragement. I hope I'm not being too direct and too stern. I just get passionate behind this. I've been in this position. And I need y'all to really get it. It ain't for everybody to understand, baby. It's not. It's strictly meant for you. For you and you only. Only you and God know what you talk about in that secret place. It's not a conference call. This is the direct line. You and him. Let him, and then, thank you, Holy Spirit, humble yourself in the midst. It's hard. I know, because you want to be like, I just want to prove everybody wrong, because, what was that you were saying? It's very easy, y'all, trust me. It's very easy to want to go into that place. But it's not about proving anybody wrong or right. It's just about living out what God has told you to do. And what God's going to do through you. You are chosen. He chose you for a reason. Believe that you are worthy of this, first of all. I know I've struggled with that. All the different things that he's given me. And I'm like, me? But did you know what I've done? He knows. And he still chose you for a reason. He's going to use you to make believers out of everybody else. And I'm not saying to make people believe in God. Yes, that will happen. But even for the believers, I've noticed that for me, I'm a source of, God is using me and my faith, my big faith that I have, to bring hope and life to those around me. I'm come from a family of believers, raised in the church, honey. They believe. They don't need to believe that God will be God. They know that. But my faith is different. My faith is different. Trust me. I've even tried to shy away. I'm like, I have way too much faith in some things. But he's using me in that way to be a light and a hope, to make others around me believe that they can dream big dreams and it come to pass if they partner with God and put in the work. So believe that you're worthy of it. God chose you for a reason. You gotta let that outside noise, you gotta silence it. You gotta be so focused on God that it just bounces off of you. We have no time in this hour for doubt. God is doing it. Believe it. God is doing it. Just be obedient. Don't let people try to kill your dreams and kill what God has told you to do. It looked dead to them, but you see the life in it, and that's the important part. Take that and take God with you and run with the baby. Alright? I think that is all. Because these videos are ended up longer than I intended, but Holy Spirit is moving, alright? He needs y'all to know. Just keep going. it's not dead. You see the life in it. You know what it is. You know what God said. Take it and run with it, baby. Keep him first. Let him lead you. Cancel out that outside noise. It ain't for other people to understand. So, y'all be blessed. I'll be back whenever the Lord gives me something else to share. But until then, stay blessed. Stay in your word. Okay? Stay in your word. Stay prayed up. And y'all enjoy your day. I love y'all. Talk to you soon.